Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Coming at you live from a new location, my desk chair. So today I'm going to talk to you about body dysmorphia and, well, in particular my body dysmorphia and the severity of it, because it's pretty bad. And I'm pretty sure just about everyone can relate to the body dysmorphia life. And yeah, it is what it is. And I'm basically just gonna try and tell you what I'm doing to help myself not see a literal blob monster when I look in the mirror. So, first things first, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. You already know what to do. I don't have to tell you. We already know. So let's start from the very beginning. I've talked about before how I used to be overweight, and when I use the word overweight, like, I don't want to say fat. I know that could be like a triggering word, so I'm just gonna say overweight, like medically overweight. If you were to look up what is overweight for a 5'1" gal, age, well, back then I was like 17, 18, you know, I was above that. So I don't know like my specific weight or anything, but I do know that, you know, I was overweight. So I actually don't recall gaining weight. Like, there was no point in time where I was like, oh yeah, like I'm bigger than I once was, because I was fairly small throughout childhood, throughout like middle school, like in the beginning of high school, just smaller person, and I never really noticed getting bigger, gaining any weight. And it wasn't until, this is sad and depressing, but I had a boyfriend in high school, and I remember he started kind of dating someone new, and I don't know why, but that girl like reached out to me. You know, high school is weird, it's just weird times. And she reached out to me and she told me that he said that I let myself go and that I got chunky. And I was like, what? Me? Chunky? And I really evaluated, and I guess I stepped on the scale for the first time and really looked at myself, and I was like, huh, maybe I am chunky. And honestly, I didn't do anything about it. I was the second half of my junior year of high school, I didn't really care, didn't make any changes. I went on through my senior year, same thing, didn't make any changes. And then it wasn't until college where I kind of realized that I needed to start making changes. And I think that's where the body dysmorphia began, because I was constantly trying so hard to look better. And I was eating differently. I say differently because I talked about like the disordered eating thing in one of my last videos, where I went through kind of like binging phases, and I went through eating like 1,000 calories a day type of phase. So that's why I say eating differently. I was working out, and I was losing weight, but there was just like something, there was just things that weren't right. So I guess what I first noticed is that, well, let's be honest here. I'll be blunt about this. I've always had bigger ladies. Like, not crazy, not severe, but they definitely, we'll say, enhanced when I gained weight. And as I lost weight, I felt like I still had like giant balloons. So I wouldn't wear like light colored shirts, because I guess this is a thing where white makes you look bigger and black makes you look smaller. I don't know. I mean, I like to wear black, but I just felt like white made me look like a literal marshmallow. So I didn't own any white shirts. None. No white shirts. So I just, you know, didn't wear those because I thought that it made my top look smaller. So as I lost weight and I kind of plateaued and kind of got to the weight where I am now, I think it really started to hit me, and I think I got over it for a little bit in college, where I didn't notice it as much. I felt like I was starting to get more attention from boys. I mean, I had a good group of friends. Like, there was nothing that was making me think like, oh, there's something wrong with me. or that I, you know, anything bad. So I got a job after college, and this again kind of triggered my dysmorphia more, because I was, how do I explain this? I've never really talked about this before, so we'll just, I guess I don't have to say what my job is, maybe you could just make an assumption, but I was in an academy with a group of like 40 people, you know, fitness, exercise, military style type deal. So while I was in the academy, I was the class historian, so I was taking pictures, and there were some things that I couldn't take pictures because I was actively doing. And so when people would take pictures of me, I would just, I guess, notice that I just felt like I looked bigger than the other girls around me or the other people around me. So I would just delete all of those pictures and I wouldn't upload them. Like I wouldn't even upload them to the computer system that we use. Like I would delete them before it was even a possibility for anyone else to see them. So I kind of just realized that I was having issues with my body again, even though I looked exactly the same, was still the same weight. Like people were telling me like, oh, you know, you and so-and-so are like the same size, ha ha ha, he he he, and I just like it wasn't clicking. Like I was like, that's not true, or like I don't look the way this person does in a crop top, or like I guess my big thing too, when I really noticed this, is when you notice or when you hear that someone maybe is the same size as you. Like let's say you're a size 4 in jeans, or you know, whatever it is, 4, or whether you're going with the 27, 20, you know, that kind. So we'll just go with the like 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever. So let's say, you know, I'm a size 4 and I hear that Sally June is also a size 4, but I don't look like Sally June. I feel like I look like a Blob Monster. So that's when I realized again that I was like, okay, I've got like something going on here. And it kind of just, it came in waves, like ebbed and flowed throughout the time I was in the academy. It kind of went away as I graduated the academy and went on to my job. And as I was nearing the end of my job and I was going into school, the Blob Monster in the mirror came back, and it was very odd. I guess I think my thing is that I started watching new people on YouTube. I feel like now I'm starting to watch people who are my age, or people who are in, oh hello, people who are in the same stage of life as me, and I feel like I'm not in, it's like they're in the same stage of life as me, but we're not the same. Like we are not the same. And I'm like, well, I don't have shredded abs, I don't have shredded arms and legs, like what am I doing wrong? And then you think that in your head, and then you look in the mirror and then you see Mr. Blob Monster. It's a very weird thing, body dysmorphia, and obviously it's different for everybody, but this is like just the experience that I've gone through. And the severity of it is that I've legitimately imagined stretch marks on myself. Like, this is the thing. If you stare at yourself in the mirror long enough and you just critique this and that and you assume this and that, or you're like, if you think like, you're so big, like if I get any bigger I might get stretch marks, or I don't know, gonna have like saggy skin or something like that, then you're going to start imagining these things. Like it is like, it's a disease. And this happened to me like a couple of months ago, where I was just like going through one of those phases and I was just looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, man, I'm really not liking the way I look. And it was like the more I looked, the more I was like, is that a stretch mark? Is that a stretch mark? Do I have stretch marks? And I, 1, showed somebody, and 2, well actually, the first thing I did was the next day I looked in the mirror and I didn't see them anymore, and I was like, is this so messed up in my head that I literally imagined stretch marks on myself? And then I showed someone and they were like, there's nothing there, like, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And it was like at that moment that I realized that like something had to change. So, first tip I'm gonna give is if you have like body dysmorphia to where you're like freaking imagining things on your body, or you're just, I think the best thing to do is, I don't want to say compare yourself, but if there is someone that has a similar body type to you and you think they look great, you probably look great too. And it's just your crazy googly blob monster mind that is telling you that you don't. So tip number 1, stop staring at yourself in the mirror. Obviously, you gotta put makeup on, you gotta do your hair. There's stuff that you have to do and you have to look in the mirror. But if you are standing there before you get in the shower, staring at your body for 5 to 10 minutes, critiquing every little part about it, eventually you're gonna start imagining things. And the more you stare at something, like, the worse it seems. It's kind of like when you take a picture and you take this picture and you love the way it looks, and then you go and you start editing it and you start putting filters on it and you start doing this and that, and then you go on Instagram, you click the picture and you stare at it and you're like, wow, I hate this picture. The picture's not bad, it didn't change, there's nothing wrong with it, you just stared at it for so long that you made it bad. That's kind of how I see like body dysmorphia working. It's you staring at something for so long to where you're making it bad, making it worse than it is. So that's step number 1. Another step is just start slowly, because this is quite the challenge, is start wearing things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. If you see someone that looks great in this certain top or bottom or whatever, and you're like, I can never pull that off, maybe just try, wear it out, see how you feel, and don't stare at yourself in the mirror. Just put on the outfit, give yourself a quick 1-2. If you like what you see the first time around, don't make it a thing. It looks good, you're ready to go. Another thing you could do is write in a journal. I'm not the biggest journal person, but if journaling works for you, maybe you could write about how you're feeling, or maybe write about what you feel bad about and maybe why you feel bad about it, and take that and spin it and write what you feel good about. Like, everybody has something that they like. Maybe you like your eyebrows, maybe you like your smile or your nose or your eyes. Maybe it doesn't have to be like, I love my stomach. I feel like most people don't. So write about the things that you feel good about and try to like focus the negative energy into positive energy. Another thing you can do is kind of just let go of the desire to have the perfect body. I think it's really bad, and I know I kind of said compare yourself to somebody who has a similar body type, but that's different than comparing yourself to somebody who is just like completely different from you. Like, love to use Whitney Simmons as an example. I am 5'1". Whitney Simmons is like 5'7", 5'8". She has long legs, long torso. She's just a tall girl. And I will never look like her because we are not the same. So don't compare, like, if you're a tall girl, don't compare yourself to someone tiny who is just like a naturally tiny person. Like, you literally can't do that because you will never ever ever look like them. So stop the impossible comparisons. I don't want to say don't compare yourself, because I don't necessarily think comparison is always bad. I like to, sometimes I compare myself to, if anybody knows, like the KK Fit twins, because I feel like they have a very similar body type to me, where they have like more muscular legs. I mean, they don't have like a big top, but they are like around the same weight as me, around the same size as me, like height wise, and kind of have the same features as me. So I think it's helpful to compare in that way, but not to compare to something that is just unattainable and impossible. If I would also avoid like maybe taking progress pictures. It's not the time. Maybe, like I said, it's like avoid staring at yourself in the mirror. Maybe avoid trying to take pictures of yourself like in a bikini, or taking pictures when you don't feel comfortable. That's just gonna make things worse in your mind, and it just is not gonna help you. So those are all my tips. I hope that they were helpful. I have taken these tips and they've really helped me overcome seeing the Blob Monster. It's really not fun. It's kind of scary when you start imagining things like you legit think you're crazy. Another tip, also, if it gets really bad, see a freaking therapist, because you can never go wrong with professional help. Okay, that's really it. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.